Speaking of performative politics, should we move to California?
Oh yeah. Let's talk about California. And
What's happening in California?
so there's a lot happening in California. Today is July 1st, and unfortunately in California that means that the cannabis excise tax at the retail level for consumers today just increased 25%. It went up from 15% to 19%, and that's just the state excise tax. So if you're a cannabis consumer at a dispensary, you are likely also paying sales tax, which is somewhere between 9 and 10%, plus the cannabis excise tax. Plus, there might also be other taxes at a local level, a cannabis tax that is not a state tax, but is a municipal tax. So it gets up close to 50% in some places. And this was a massive disappointment to the California cannabis industry that lobbied really hard to get an emergency stop to this tax increase. And this is after there was a bill that has continued to move through 546, sponsored by Matt Haney of San Francisco, to stop this tax increase. But that is moving through the regular legislative process and might not get signed even until September, if at all. And so, in the meantime, this cannabis tax is happening. And a few days ago, Governor Newsom loudly came out and said, if the legislature puts something in front of me to sign, I will stop the increase in cannabis taxes, knowing clear well that there wasn't a pathway for the legislature to put something in front of him that quickly. And I think that's that performativeness that maybe you are referring to. So we should pause. Let's talk about the taxes, but there's some other important stuff going on in California also, on the regulatory side with testing pesticides and molds as well. What do you think about all this tax stuff, Ben?
Ugh, this is me biting my tongue and not exploding, but like Newsom, when he decides he doesn't want something, he has proven that he is willing to be creative and wield a sword and ban the hemp industry.
He did that very
And
quickly as
now
well.
he is virtue signaling his support so clearly of the cannabis industry because he could do something. He allowed the Senate to block and strip the tax freeze out of the current bill. And so, like, if you're gonna help, actually fucking help. Like, he
Help.
deserves
It's a
every fucking title that people have given him over the years. New scum, whatever you want to call him, he is. And I hope he runs for president so that the entire state of California can light him up for how shitty he's been as a representative of the people.
ooh,
And I am currently
take.
moving my business outside of California because of him.
Wow,
So
I didn't know that. There you just heard it first, folks. Yeah, I think that Newsom has, on the surface, been a proponent of legal cannabis, but when the industry has really needed him, he has not been here for us. And this tax issue just seals the deal. So it's
it's
time
crazy.
for the
It's crazy.
state
It's like
to
I
fix this.
people know like I'm involved in both the hemp and cannabis side, but we've been a licensed cannabis entity since 2018. And we've been supportive of this category and supportive of this industry and have tried to like work our way through it, but this is the final straw. Like, this is just a state that didn't legalize cannabis. It was all performative. The entire thing since 2016, it's been performative legalization. And all they've done since 2016 is try to kill the cannabis industry. I was here. You were here during the Prop 215 days. Those are the good old days.
Yeah,
Like,
people made money, they were happy, patients were well served, lots of products in the market. We needed some quality control. There needed to be some regulatory framework for businesses to be able to have confidence and succeed, but what we got with Prop 64 has been a disaster. And in the midst of all of this, while this tax increase is coming, it's on the back of the regulatory agency in the state, the DCC, also announcing that they're down 11% year over year in their tax collection. And that is because the industry is shrinking. And if they think that raising the taxes is going to do anything other than continue to harm the top line performance of anyone that's still alive in this market, they are sorely mistaken. This is a big mistake.
Man. Yeah, and this is why the Democratic Party has a huge branding issue. And I said, we're not political pundits, so we're not going to dive too deep into that. But you have New York electing a socialist, mayor. You have whatever the hell's happening here in California, but they're killing capitalism. And capitalism is the one thing that has made California great. It's the reason we get to claim being the fourth largest economy in the world. But that's not gonna happen if you keep killing businesses and saying that we need to move 15% tax up to 19% tax. Like, you're gonna force out all the business and you're gonna kill companies.